Slickety, slickety, slack.
Schnick, buck, boom, bang, ding.
Bing, pow, boom.
Zoom.
Go to the Barbarian. Good evening. As a duly designated representative of the city, county, and state of New York, I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension. That ought to do it. Thanks very much, Ray.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, now with more laughs in the first 2 minutes than ever before. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 118. Welcome to the show.
This is going to be a good one. So we had a life and death experience with Booba over the weekend.
Over the weekend, Chik-Fil-A, the place that sells the chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, and fillets.
They royally screwed up my name.
Okay.
They outdid themselves.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the Puscifer concert that Bess and I went to. You got to be very careful when you pronounce that name.
Yes. And I farted.
Not just now.
No. Like big time.
Okay.
It was in front of the wife.
Oh.
And
it's the best place to do it.
Well, I don't normally do that. So anyway, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
How was your Thanksgiving?
What?
Inside joke. We record this
great.
a week in advance.
It was great.
Yeah.
You know, the family surprised me with an amazing gift.
What was that?
It had to have cost thousands of dollars.
For a Thanksgiving present?
It was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, right in between the turkey and the pumpkin pie, which we refer to as punku pie.
Punku pie.
They presented me with a gift.
Pass the punku pie.
Punku pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, we've got big news before we get to the idiotic stories that we share every week. Here in the next couple of weeks,
Yeah.
we have some guests who are coming onto the show.
People actually want to come on the show.
I know. Kevin Rupert, who's been on our show before, stand-up comedian. He is the owner of Bricky's Comedy Club.
Yeah.
He's coming back to tell more funny stories and to give us an update on how well his club is doing. And I have confirmation, Megan Mitchell is going to be on the show.
Confirmed.
She has said she is down with this, and she is so excited. Now, you might...
I hear tell she's on the TV.
Yeah, you might ask, who is Megan Mitchell?
Okay.
So Megan Mitchell is a news anchor and a reporter here in Cincinnati, and she's getting ready to move to Texas.
She's doing a documentary on failed podcasts.
And she's talking, wait a minute, we don't want her on the show for that.
She wants to talk to us.
She is a TikTok sensation. She has over 1 million followers on the TikTok. She's a great person. She's a good friend of mine. And I asked her if she would be a guest on her show, and she says absolutely. So she's going to be on the show in December.
Yeah,
so
and
we're very excited.
We'll let you guys know. I mean,
well, here's the thing: is you and I aren't used to having girls in the room. This is like the Little Rascal Treehouse, no girls allowed.
Yeah.
We had Lisa Ferguson here, and I thought that went fine.
It did.
Yeah.
She sat right in front of the Tool thing. And she seems to be fine.
Totally
no
fine.
reports of poltergeist or anything weird happening. So you guys can't see this, but I've created a Tool shrine. I've created a thing that would cause someone to... they would have pause.
They would say,
when they enter the room.
I think Mike has a problem.
Mike might need Jesus.
Yeah. So anyway, that's coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And so stay tuned, and you'll definitely won't want to miss either of those episodes.
Yeah.
So how's Booba?
All right. Here's the deal.
Okay.
So Andrew is sick.
Okay.
Andrew does not like to take pills.
Right.
Andrew takes liquid Tylenol. And liquid Tylenol has acetaminophen. That's...
Bless you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not good for your internals, especially if you're a dog. Now, I'm not a veterinarian.
Right.
Neither am I a doctor.
Right.
I'm barely a college graduate.
You know, veterans or veterinarians are doctors.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are.
Just so you know.
Yes.
It's not like a religious thing.
So, you know, your
I
dog...
thought you were Catholic.
I've had dogs my entire... That was funny. I have had dogs... I'm trying to get better, because today I was laughing at this. You said a lot of funny things. last time, and I can't. I'm trying to be a better co-host.
Co-host, yeah.
So whenever your dog, we've had dogs our entire life.
Yeah.
So I'm used to dog swallows something weird, and we got to figure out if the dog's going to die or not.
Right.
So I've got a long list of items that it's perfectly fine for a dog to eat and swallow. It's going to show up in their poop later. It's a, you know what I mean?
A thing.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
So we'd never dealt with an actual drug like this.
Okay.
I'm down here doing what I do. I'm playing the Call of Duty. I'm answering the call of duty. I'm doing what Call of Duty people refer to as grinding my camos.
Oh.
Okay. So your guns, and this is a little aside, but you Call of Duty
That's
people,
not a euphemism.
No.
Okay.
Grinding your camos is you're doing things in the game to get new camouflage for your gun to make it look different.
Oh, okay.
Anywho,
Yeah.
I'm down here doing that. Bess yells downstairs. Booba, sorry, we treat Booba like your kid, you know. We call her Booba all the time, but when she's in trouble or something serious, it's Dakota.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Dakota, J, frankincense.
You three-named her. Yeah. What's her middle name?
She says J.
Dakota J.
Jehoshaphat,
Yeah.
So
Jehoshaphat.
she said Dakota just drank Tylenol.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
So I go upstairs because this is a new one for me.
Now,
so
was
I
this
do.
where you like, what do you want me to do about it?
No,
or
I didn't. I didn't do that. I'm trying to become a better person. So I look it up on the YouTubes, or I'm sorry, on the Googles.
On the Google, yeah.
And I'm used to it always saying, just let your dog sit in a corner, it'll pass.
Why?
So it said that acetaminophen, is not for dogs.
Okay.
And it said a maximum dosage for a dog is less than 100 milligrams.
Okay.
So I look at what she took, 480 milligrams.
That's more.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
You passed math at one point in your life. So we call the vet, and they say, make her vomit. Pour hydrogen peroxide down her throat.
Okay.
And make her vomit. And if you can't, bring her in. So I'm like, we're going to just take her in because I can't. We found hydrogen peroxide under the sink. It's been there since 2015.
I don't think it expired.
It does to water over time.
Okay.
I can't get her to even eat normally or
Right.
drink normal water. I'm not going to be able to make her puke.
Right.
So I tell him I'm taking her, and I'm driving with Booba in the car. She's sitting there and doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
We get to the vets. I walk in, and they point at me, and they say, Dakota? And I said, yeah. And I heard somebody in the back go, oh. And the door swung open, and they're like, go, 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 go. I'm like, this is like...
ER.
Yeah, it's like I'm delivering a heart to a patient, you know. I'm going back there.
Did anybody say the word stat?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
I'm going back there, and I see these double wide doors in the back with like what is clearly, I've seen Scrubs, is clearly an operating table in the back. Yeah. Or they're either going to do an autopsy or operate on Booba.
Yeah.
There are 3 people I assume are veterinarians.
I would hope so.
Or, you know, drug reps. I don't know what there's 3 people in there with what are those things called? Overcoat, robes, smocks.
Yes,
robes.
Scrubs. Wait, you just said you've seen Scrubs, and then you see people in Scrubs, but you don't know the word Scrubs.
Lab jacket, lab coats. They had lab coats. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
They take Booba in there, and then the door shuts right in front of my face, and I'm standing there. I'm on the other side of the door, and I look around, and there's a guy working on the computer, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and I said, well, this is awkward. Do I go in there? And he's like, no. Go back out in the waiting room, and we'll let you know when we're finished. Oh.
Okay.
So they came out, and they were like, are you Dakota's dad? Now, I'm not in the mood for humor at this point.
Right,
I had all kinds of things now
right.
that I could have said. But
Right.
I go back.
Not the biological
No, yes. And I'm waiting in the thing.
I'm
and
her
then
stepdad.
the vet, one of the vets comes in, and he's like smiling. Now, an aside, Your Honor, may I approach the bench? I've been watching a lot of police interrogation videos. So I'm a
Still?
bit... yeah, they're fun.
You've been on this kick for like over a year.
And mishaps in court.
Okay.
So I'm a bit biased. He says, what happened with Dakota? And I'm like, I realize at that point, I am wearing my Batman pajamas, which I'm wearing again now.
Yeah.
I have a knit cap, and I am unshaven, unshorn as it is. glasses, I do not look well. And I'm saying, well, we were giving Tylenol to our kid, and she got it and drank it. And he says, huh, okay.
Yeah.
How many? And it was like 15 milli, 15 milli, 480 grams, or milligrams. He's like, yeah, that's a pretty, that can be rough on their system. He's like, so it was liquid. I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that moves quickly. And we're like,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
mhm. Okay. Are you going to put cuffs on me? You were going to read me my rights? Should I call a lawyer at this point? And he says, well, what we did is we gave her an injection of whatever the hell he said.
Right.
And she vomited immediately. We found a pencil in there. And I did what you just did.
Pencil.
Yeah, she eats writing utensils.
A pencil.
In pieces.
Okay.
Not a full.
Okay.
Yeah, my first thought was like, wow.
That would be a trick.
Would be impressive.
Call David Letterman and reinvent stupid human tricks.
So I'm annoyed because I know at this point, an IV and this whole visit, there were 3 vets in there. I'm seeing dollar signs. Yes.
I'm going to tease ahead.
Okay.
Later on in the podcast,
Yeah.
we're going to tell another story. Where I found a pencil. Go ahead. People are like, oh, I can't wait.
Okay. All right. So I'm starting to add up. I'm spending my Saturday morning doing this because you and I were on the phone like just minutes before this happened. Around the time this happened was when we were talking about moving your mom's piano or whatever. And moving her chandelier over so the piano king, whatever it was. It was a barbecue. It was a grill. A grill.
I was about to say, I don't even remember what I asked you to move.
Okay.
All I know is you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You made up an excuse, and then you ended up having one.
Yeah. I should have just waited a couple of minutes.
Exactly. That's what you get.
Yeah. And so he says, we need to administer charcoal. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? Because I think he's going to send me home with charcoal. And I was about to say, I got briquettes back at the house.
Yeah.
And I said, do I do that? He's like, oh, no. We do that here. He said, it can be pretty rough.
Uh-huh.
And a little part of me in the back said, good.
That'll show
I
her.
want her to have a rough experience.
Yeah.
Because she drank. She's been going through this phase where she's going even more. She's lashing out more and drinking and eating things she shouldn't.
Uh-huh.
So he said, she'll come back. Her teeth will be black.
Uh-huh.
Her mouth will be black. We'll try to clean her up as much as we can.
She'll look like she's from Kentucky.
She won't seem right.
Sorry. You please edit that.
Edit
Okay,
that out.
thank you.
I'm going to amplify it.
She'll look like she's from Kentucky.
And I was like, that's great. You do what you need to do.
Uh-huh.
He said, just don't let her eat anything until later on tonight, maybe half a cup of dog food, all that crap. So
Yeah.
we get Booba back. I take her back, $200 to shove a briquette down her throat and puke her.
Yeah.
So she's fine now.
Yeah.
Still going for stuff up on the island. I'm like, really?
They don't learn.
Really? After
Yeah.
we took you to, the X-Files looking place and they jammed you and made you vomit, you're still gonna do that.
Poor
Booba,
thing. Yeah.
she's not learning.
Dogs are stupid.
They are.
They're lovable,
Yeah.
but they're just dumb animals.
And Marbles, while we're on it, is degrading. Like he's devolving.
Is he getting stupider?
He is.
Okay.
More stupid, as it were.
More
He
stupid.
started to chew on furniture. We've had him for like a month, and he was not eating furniture. And we're eating dinner last night, and
Yeah.
and I look down, and he's eating like it's like this is just normal. It's what we do now. And you saw up there, he ripped part of the house off. Was walking around with it.
Now, see, when you got Marbles, I thought, maybe I love Dakota. Okay, I love Booba, but she's a jumper, and she's got nails.
Yeah.
And they scratch.
Yeah.
And I'm not bitter, but I have a scar on my leg where she scratched me last year.
Yeah.
And it's like, Booba, I will pet you because you're a good girl. I will pet you.
She's a good girl.
But it's like she jumps and she scratches.
Attacks.
So I thought maybe Marbles she would calm down, but no, he's just getting dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing
His name is Marbles. What do you
Yeah.
expect?
and
My name is Marbles,
yeah,
and I'm a good boy.
Yeah.
And I like to eat wood on the house.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, pencils.
He's got the short little legs,
Yeah.
so he can't jump up that much. And Booba, so we try to trim her nail. We do trim her nails, but she's too nervous for them to grind them down. So basically what happens is we effectively sharpen her nails.
Yes.
So she turns into Freddy Krueger for about a week after we do that.
It's a four-hand job.
She got-
Wait a minute.
whoa.
It's a four-person. Wait a minute.
Hello.
It's a two-person, four hands to
Ow.
operate job.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
we used to do that with Conrad and trying to do the dew claw,
Yeah.
Jesus, it was just ridiculous. It's like, professional wrestling.
Yeah.
By the way, Letterman was on Carson years ago. and he was talking about he had dogs, Bob and Stan. I can't remember which dog it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Bob.
Yeah.
But Dave had found some meat that expired, and he put it on the counter, and he was getting ready to throw it away. Next thing he knows, it's gone. Bob had gotten hold of it, and he ate all this expired hamburger meat. So Dave calls the vet, and the vet says, you know what, it'll probably pass, but if I were you, I'd get it out of there.
Okay.
And so they said the same thing, hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
So he's trying to figure out how to get the hydrogen peroxide in the dog. So he gets it in a headlock, fills a squirt bottle full of peroxide. He's sitting there squirting it down his throat. And he says eventually the hamburger did come up, and it looked just like it did before, except it had a good head on it. Classic story.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs. Had a crazy day? Are the kids driving you nuts? And the boss is climbing on your ass waiting for you to work late again? I'm Dave Lay, and I know the feeling. It seems like life is constantly trying to rip me a new one. And this shit always happens on my night to make dinner. So what do? I'll tell you, Sally. I throw some Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs on the grill. And just like that, everybody's happy. Whoppers are made from pure beef with no fillers or preservatives. They're packed full of flavor, and they're perfect for any meal or a late-night snack. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't a foot long, they'll refund your money, guaranteed. So after this podcast is over, run out and grab a package of Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs. You'll be glad you did.
I went to Chik-Fil-A last week.
I'm so excited that you
Yes.
have a Chick-fil-A story. These are some of our most... Our listeners love Chick-fil-A stories.
They do. I've told you in the past.
Yeah.
I have been called Daryl, Derek, Damon, Damien, Dwayne, Dan.
Dwayne.
The best one was Darfin,
Darfin,
when I went to
yeah.
Spectrum. And I never thought that anything would compare to Darfin.
Yeah.
But Chick-fil-A said, hold my beer.
Okay.
So I go to Chick-fil-A, and I've told you, I usually always say my name is Mike. My middle name is Michael.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm lying.
It's a hard name to screw up.
It doesn't matter if I'm lying. I'm not under oath when I order a sandwich at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
But I pull up, and the guy's like, what's a good name for the order? And I wanted to do my old routine again. Oh, well, there's all kinds of good names. Trevor's a good name.
Yeah.
Keith. But what's a good name? And I was off my game. I said, Darin. Darin. And I said, Darin. So the guy gets his thing, and he goes, tap, 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 tap. Okay, and what would you like? And I'm like,
Ooh.
you tapped that thing 6 times.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he clearly misspelled my name.
Yeah.
And I'm in a mood now because I spelled my name Darin. He tap, 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 tap. I'm thinking he put 2 R's in there, probably an E, which is what people typically do.
In Mexico, it would be Darin.
Darin, yeah. So I ordered my sandwich for me. I ordered my sandwich for Libby, and I pulled up to the thing, and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting for Truck Nuts Troy to be in front of me, and it was like the time when you said it. They're delivering sandwiches all willy nilly. Finally, this the girl, the woman, the lady, comes out with the bag, and she's looking, and she says, she's confused. She looks at the thing, looks up, the thing, looks up, looks at the thing again. And I got my window down. She goes, Darwin?
Wow.
And I laughed.
Darwin.
And I looked at her. I said, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Darwin.
Yeah.
The guy who created
the origin of the species.
The theory of relativity, right?
No, okay.
Gravity. No,
Yeah.
that was Newton.
Yeah.
It's a smart guy.
Yeah.
It was James A. Darwin, right? Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Charles Darwin.
Old Chuck Darwin.
Old Chucky Darwin.
Old Chucky Darin to his friends.
And I was just like, I can't believe it. I spelled my name. I spelled it slowly. And the guy got Darwin.
He put a W in there.
He put a W in there.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and then
Pretty good.
and then I made her feel like she goes, I'm sorry. That's what he told me your name was.
Yeah,
I
he
made
was
her
wrong.
feel bad,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's your fault for working at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Who has a first name Darwin?
Because it's like if your job is delivering the order, and then somebody else's job is taking the order. When someone pulls through and said, your next person coming up is a guy named Darwin, that's when you go,
Really?
really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did he spell the name?
Yeah.
Did he spell the name and then you just tapped an extra letter in there, dumbass?
Yeah.
And that's my Chick-fil-A story of the week.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by the Reversible Belt. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and there's a saying that's been passed down 3 generations in my family. Whether you wear pants or shorts, a man isn't a man unless he's wearing a belt. I own lots of pants, and I hate futzing around trying to find the right colored belt. So I always wear the reversible belt. Black on one side, brown on the other. The reversible belt is the perfect wardrobe accessory for any man who cares about his appearance. So what are you waiting for? Go out and get a reversible belt today. On sale now at JD's 24-hour drive-through pawn and gun auto parts pharmaceutical adult gift bait and tackle discount cigarette outlet.
Back in the night, you and I are Gen X. Let's say we're Gen X.
Yeah.
For anybody out there,
Yeah.
I mean, I call you Boomer, but I do that because it's fun.
Right.
I like doing that. But we're Gen X,
Yeah.
okay? Which means we think everybody older than us is stupid, and
Right.
we think everybody younger than us is
Also stupid, yeah.
And they're all like, "Who are they?" That's basically where we live.
Right.
So a very popular show back in the 90s was Quantum Leap. It was Dr.
Was it the
Sam
90s or the
Beckett.
80s?
I think it was 80s and,
And
it
then
bled
I
into
think
the
it
90s.
bled
Yeah,
into the-
right,
yeah,
because the
exactly.
90s was dominated by X-Files. So this was 80s.
Right.
Dr. Sam Beckett,
Played by Hunky.
Patsy O'Brien.
Yeah. Patsy O'Brien was the star of Quantum Leap. I can't remember the guy's name. Good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Beckett.
Yeah.
And so the story, because I got to explain this,
Okay.
is basically he's a scientist and he quantum leaps into other people's bodies.
That's where, yeah.
And like each episode, he jumps into somebody's body.
He was
Yeah.
doing this before Ant-Man.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Ant-Man thinks he, invented the quantum realm,
Well,
but he didn't.
so we were watching the pilot, and I was like, "This is kind of like Groundhog Day, the series," because he keeps like he's in this body until he figures out what it is he's supposed to do,
Right.
And then he quantum leaps to another.
And hilarity ensues each time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey, what happened?
So
Why do I
it's
have boobs?
kinda- it's-
You're inside a woman now.
It's a stealth.
Literally.
It's a stealth show. So like the people that
Meaning you
wanted
can't see or hear it?
no, the people that wanted to watch like soap opera type things, they've got that. Because it is basically that,
Like
then your
Dallas.
and then
Yeah.
your sci-fi people, you've got that whole thing, and
Like
his
Star Trek.
his buddy Nipsey Godwin, Nipsey Russell,
Yeah.
the hologram.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of their names. It's not Nipsey Russell,
We should have prepared.
Jeff Goldblum, whatever the guy's name is.
Charles
And
Darwin.
he talks to him. He's kind of like Q if you're a Star Trek. No, he's not. The point is, this show was on for 8 seasons, and I know that because I bought the entire series for $20, and I thought this is going to be fun for the entire family to watch.
Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula, yeah, and his buddy is Dean Stockwell.
Dean Stock. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, it's like Bakula hit and Stockwell came right
Bam!
after. So we're looking for something to watch as a family.
Uh-huh.
We've been watching X-Files, but then every once in a while, X-Files, we do. We'll watch the Alien one. They'll have an Alien episode. Then all of a sudden there'll be like a series of serial killers with pentagrams and carving goats into heads.
And then eventually the kid's like, Mom, Dad, are they going to do it?
Randomly, Mulder will bang somebody
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah.
And then it'll come
Well,
back.
there's a reason.
And then it'll come back to aliens, and then there's serial killers. There's a pattern to that.
Then there's a person with no arms or legs
Yeah.
that they keep under the bed.
Yeah, so
and that's when you sign out.
I remember Quantum Leap being family entertainment.
Right.
I remember it being that way.
Uh-huh.
And I remember it being a cool show. So we sit down and we're going to watch the pilot. And it dawned on me very quickly that I ain't never seen the pilot, 1. And 2, they don't explain shit in the pilot. It just starts.
Uh-huh.
And it's going off of the thing of Dr. Sam Beckett doesn't know in the beginning. He doesn't know what's happening. He jumped, he leapt, and then lost his memory.
Uh-huh.
So when he pops up, he's like, this is an internal thing. And young Scott Bakula sounds like such an idiot. He's like, I don't have blonde hair, do I? He's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't, you're going to be be captain of a starship here in about 20 years. You need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of clenching, going through it.
Sadly, the acting was pretty good for
and
the time.
he's in the pilot, he is a test pilot.
Okay.
And one of the guys that's a test pilot looks exactly like Hangman from Maverick. but it can't be because this is like 40
from
years
Top
ago.
Gun. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So now I'm out of the show. I'm on IMDb looking for the name of the guy in Maverick and the name of the guy in here, and are they related?
Right.
And I'm on Wikipedia. Did somebody have a son?
Yeah.
I'm ignoring the episode, and at some point I get woken back up from this from Charlie saying, "This is boring." To which Bess's normal response is, "Well, just give it some time." Her response is, "Yeah." And then I realize I'm about to come to his defense, and I realize I haven't been watching this thing for a good half hour.
Right.
And we look, and there's like another 40 minutes because it's the pilot. It's like a movie length thing, and I'm like, let's turn this off. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. And she's. And I still think that maybe it's like Seinfeld. That you watch the first episode of Seinfeld.
Horrible. Yeah.
But you have to get through it. But I don't remember now that this has kind of tainted my memory. Now I'm starting to think maybe Quantum Leap wasn't that great of a show.
You know what? I've noticed that with a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Because we were on was it Pluto or whatever, and on the Roku box, and I saw where we could watch The Bionic Woman. I'm like, oh, we've got to watch The Bionic Woman.
Yeah.
And the opening credits were cool. The rest of the show, oh my God, it was horrible.
Yeah. That's the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, but didn't they use the same sound effects for her?
Maybe.
Or she's a girl. She ain't allowed to have sound effects. I can't remember. We didn't get through it. Okay.
Well, in the 80s, they did a thing where you had Superman, and then a few years later, you had Supergirl, and then Bionic Man, or $1 Million Man, and now
the Bionic Woman.
Bionic Woman. And
Jamie Lee Curtis.
And then Lily Tomlin got shrunk down, and she went
Incredible Shrinking Woman.
She got into a garbage disposal.
Yeah.
You remember that?
But that wasn't related to either.
No. And I don't think Dabney Coleman was in that movie, but in my head, Dabney Coleman was in every movie in the 80s.
Yes, he was.
All of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I was on Roku, and I saw where you could watch the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
The first episode of Mary Tyler Moore Show, painful. I mean, I could not find anything to laugh at.
Yeah.
And it's literally one of the greatest sitcoms of all time.
Yeah.
And if anybody hears this, I mean, my house is going to be egged when I get home.
Well, another one is.
And I love Mary Tyler Moore.
I was a big fan of The Incredible Hulk in the 70s and 80s. And if you go back and watch those now, it is painful.
Yeah,
like when he's changing into the Hulk, which was always the big part.
Yeah.
It's like it shows, what was the guy's name? Dave Brennan?
Bruce
Kulick?
David Brenner.
David Brenner.
Bruce Banner.
It shows like he's at a Starbucks or something,
Don't
and he's
make
like,
me angry.
I'd like a.
You won't like me when
he's
I'm
like,
angry.
I'd like a coffee with 2 creams. And like, we only have 1 cream, and then that music. And he's like, I want 2 creams. We only have 1 cream, and it shows his eyes, and they're normal. And then he's like, I want 2 creams. God. And then you see like a sweat come down off the eyes, and then it goes back, and then it comes back, and the eyes are a little. They're green. The eyes, the pupils are green or whatever. The irises, but everything else is normal.
Yeah.
Back to the person going, and then back to him with the sweat coming down, and now there's a little bit of green eyeshadow. It goes on for like 5 hours.
And Hulk never would punch somebody,
and then
but he would pick them up and he would throw them, and they would always go through like an open window.
Yeah.
And they would land in the grass.
And then
they would never like land on the sidewalk or on a broken, like on a nail.
It's showing
now I got to get a tetanus shot.
It's showing his eyes back and forth for 2 hours. Then all of a sudden, Lou Ferrigno shows up with a poodle, that hair on his head, and he's flexing.
You could almost see the green powder puff off of it when he ran. Yeah. And what killed me was like Hulk.
He's flexing for about 5 minutes, and then
his pants would always tear at the legs, but they would never tear around the waist. So he had the same waist size as Bruce Banner.
And it never tore in the middle and let the big old third leg pop out there.
the big green monster never showed up. No, it didn't. Yeah. And then,
in reality, it would split right up the ass crack.
Yes, it would.
The 2 big green Hulk cheeks come out.
Absolutely.
Be clapping as he ran down the street after him.
Hulk's ass cheeks clapping.
Yeah. It's like, come on, guys. When you put on pants, is it really that tight around the calves but loose on the crotch? I mean, I guess maybe he knows what happens, so he buys like carpenter pants or whatever.
They're elastic. He wears sweatpants like you wear for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you don't want to wear Hulk in skinny jeans. It's not a no.
Remember that episode of Family Guy where they get the piano and Stewie's like, ooh, play that sad song from the Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah,
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. The last 20 minutes of every episode is that. Those are painful to watch. But as
yeah.
a kid, I was all over that stuff. Oh my god. So anyway, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
So now I have this. There it is. It's sitting right there because we just pulled it out. It's going to go to waste.
Yeah.
Troy-built lawn tractors have been giving irritable dads an unwarranted sense of masculinity since 1937. When your neighbors see you mowing your grass with a Troy-built, they'll know you're compensating. But who cares? With a high-performing Kohler engine and a hydrostatic transmission, your Troy-built will beat most neighbors in a childish lawnmower drag race. And when you hurriedly mow your grass right before a rainstorm because your asshole neighbor quickly mowed his just to make you look bad, it's okay. Make your lawn look less embarrassing with Troy-built.
Our remote control vanished from our house.
Wow.
Just totally vanished. And I don't know how it happened or
Aliens.
what was going on.
Yeah.
I was convinced that, I even texted Chris next door because
Thought maybe
he came over to check on Figgy while we were
those things
out
will
of town.
attach. Those things will attach to
Exactly.
clothing.
I thought maybe Victoria picked it up.
Yeah.
And then, the thought was in my mind, and it was like that thing with George Carlin where you're looking for your keys.
Because it
and
could be in there.
You open up the refrigerator because I looked for the lime jello.
Yeah.
Then I had my keys. Where the hell's the lime jello? Whatever. So I even texted Chris to see if maybe Victoria picked it up, and she didn't.
Yeah.
We looked all over the living room. Now, why would the remote control leave the living room? Sometimes you have it in your hand. You walk in the kitchen, you sit on the counter, and you get your milk or your Frosty or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the kitchen. It wasn't anywhere. I am I'm laying on my stomach with the flashlight on my phone, looking under the couch. I've reclined everything. I've put my hands. I gave it like a full, a full colonoscopy.
Ooh, okay.
Each couch and the
Yeah.
love seat, looking for this blank remote control. I cannot find it anywhere. But what we did have was a universal remote that we used to have when we were members of Spectrum. And I thought, okay, well, you know what? What I'll do is I'll just program this universal remote.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've never claimed to be technically savvy. Okay. I'm actually technically inept. I have a lot of problems with doing technical. If something goes wrong with the computer, I call you.
Yeah.
Anything else, it's like it's always a problem.
Yeah.
But I thought, I've programmed a universal remote before.
They're universal.
I can do this.
Yeah.
I can totally do this.
Yeah.
So I get on the Google and I look up programming universal remote, and there's the code on the remote.
Yeah.
The 8-digit whatever at the bottom. So that's what I plug in. It comes right up. How to program this universal remote with this code.
It wasn't like a YouTube video like, today we're going to program the XY5 universal remote and the remote at the TV as so.
Yeah, exactly. And so the first thing I saw was hit TV and the OK button at the same time, and then your input button should start flashing red. So I'm doing that.
Why can't they just put a button on there that says program the fucking remote?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. God, is it that hard?
There's a shortage at the button factory. Yeah. They can't. Oh, damn. We're going to have to change the design of this. We don't have enough buttons.
And I'm pushing the two buttons together, and I'm looking at my remote waiting for the input button to flash red.
Yeah.
There's no button on my remote that says input.
Okay.
There's one that says video source,
Oh.
which is the same thing, but it doesn't say input.
Yeah.
So I get on the Google, and I look up, and I find a video that says how to do this specific remote.
Yeah.
And what does it do? It takes me to a Spectrum video that has Conan O'Brien all over it. Conan O'Brien hasn't been on TV in 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And Conan O'Brien was on TV almost 30 years. They have a 4-second clip of him walking behind the curtain over to the set, and it stops.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, the same clip of him walking from the curtain to the desk. You couldn't have found more footage of Conan O'Brien for this 2-minute video tutorial.
Doesn't have like Eugene Levy coming out with SCTV.
Everybody. Yeah. ABBA. Yeah. So, and then it's giving me the instructions of what to do to push these two buttons. And the remote that they're using on this tutorial has 4 buttons at the top.
Okay.
Mine has 5.
Oh.
They're teaching me how to program a different remote with buttons that I don't have.
Yeah.
So I exited out of that, and I'm looking for another video.
Okay.
And then I find a link to go to the specific remote. There's even thing. It's like, if you have a different remote, go to this page.
Yeah.
Scroll down, click on the one
that you have.
That you have.
Yeah.
I did that. I hit enter. It's the same video. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so I go on Facebook, and of course, hey, I want people to make fun of me because I'm technically inept. And I mention, I'm like, it shouldn't be this flipping hard to program a remote.
It shouldn't be.
And my neighbor says, "Oh, get your kids to do it." My kids won't do it.
Yeah.
They won't come out of their rooms. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
I never did program the universal remote. I
Yeah.
found out on my TV that if you give it a good feel up at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because remember when buttons used to be on the TV?
Yeah, yeah.
You could walk
And
over and turn it on.
knobs
Yeah,
and
knobs.
things
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, my TV, I'm feeling underneath, and there was a knob at the bottom
Ooh.
in the middle.
Yeah.
You push it,
Yeah.
and then I figured out how to turn it on
Okay.
with a button on the thing. So that's what we were doing,
Okay.
like the cavemen.
Yeah.
This morning, I'm at the house by myself, and I'm thinking, I'm like, this remote is here somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the back of my couch, and I'm like, the back of our couch, like yours, has
Yeah.
Velcro
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe it's there.
Oh.
Okay, so I go to our couch, and I rip the Velcro out, and what falls down?
A body.
No,
Okay.
a pair of fingernail clippers.
Yeah.
Why are they in the couch? I don't know.
Oh.
And a pencil.
Lucky Booba
Yeah,
wasn't there.
why is there a pencil here? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
glad it didn't puncture our brand new couch.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I go to our love seat, rip that up. There's the remote.
There you go.
It had gotten all the way down, and I call it the catcher.
Yeah.
The catcher caught it.
Yeah.
So that's where the remote was.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But still, you're
That's-
right.
yeah.
Your remote control should have a button that says
should.
program.
there was
Oh, just program.
there was a
Point it, program. Bam.
so everything in the 80s was super stupid complex. The
Yeah.
instruction manual came with like a freaking instrumentation drawing. You had to go to
Instrumentation,
Radio Shack and get a soldering iron to do
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
And then there was a brief period in the 90s for about 2 months where everything was like, push this button until that flashes and you're done.
Yeah.
Now everything's like, hey, you want to try to learn how to program your remote? Well, here's remote. Blah, 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 and a little cartoon character comes on. I'd like to talk to you about
Mr. Remote, and I love when you push my
smash,
buttons.
yeah, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. Ding. Just for like
Yeah,
2 seconds of instruction,
Yeah.
you got to watch an hour of this thing walking around going, hey,
Yeah.
I've been to a number of
Yeah.
concerts.
Yeah,
I haven't
you
been to
have.
as many as you have, but I've been to a fair.
I
I've been
think
to
you
a
have.
fair amount.
You've probably beaten me this year.
So part of this is because of the venue. We saw. I don't know that the Ted Bundy Performing Arts Center. I don't know what it's. I don't know what it's called.
I don't think they named it
the
after
Brody. It's the Adrian or the
Adrian
Alan,
Brody.
Adrian Brody Performing Arts Center.
the Scott Bakula.
Scott
Performing Arts
Bakula,
Center.
Dean Stockwell Performing Arts Center. It was built in 21, I think
Okay.
just last year.
In Dayton?
No, in Cincinnati. Down here, it's on the banks. It's
Oh,
right. Right
I
next to
haven't-
Paul Brown.
I haven't been to a show
Oh,
there.
it's amazing.
Okay. Was
go-
it
so-
cold?
Yeah, it's pretty cold outside, but
yeah.
this was inside. It was
Oh.
indoor.
Well, then
so
there
they
you
have an indoor and they have an outdoor. The wall is covered with foam entirely, ceiling all the way down. I'm like, oh, we're in for a treat. This is not like seeing a show at the high school gym,
Right.
with everything.
Echo.
So the first thing we notice is the GD merch line. So this is a Puscifer show.
Okay.
A Maynard James Keenan joint, as they are. So let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's back up a little
Okay,
bit.
yeah.
I think it's well established, it's well known here that I am a Tool fan.
Yeah,
I'm
you've
currently
mentioned it.
wearing a Tool do-rag.
Yes, you are.
And you're sitting in the shrine of Tool.
Yes.
I dig them. And Puscifer is a band that Maynard is in that Bess likes. I can get her to go to a Puscifer concert.
Okay.
Because they've got kind of like a whole different sound, a whole different thing. It's
Okay.
hilarious.
Okay.
It's a hilarious show. Bess was saying, "Are you going to wear your Tool shirt?" I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be the guy that wears a Tool shirt
No.
to a Puscifer concert. Yes, sir.
What was the movie with the college movie with David Spade and John Favreau, and they invented that? Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be the guy
who wears the shirt to
for
the band that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Favreau said that, but I
Yeah.
can't remember what the movie was.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here. Now I haven't read all of Maynard's book. I haven't even read any of it that pertains to this. But I
Okay.
am in a Tool fan group, so I speak on this with some authority.
Yeah. Authority.
Tool fans are amongst the most insufferable people you will ever meet in your life. Can't stand them.
Yeah.
Can't stand them.
Yeah.
Okay. A Tool fan wearing Tool regalia at a Puscifer concert is a special breed, okay? Maynard is in Tool. Okay, the way Tool records is the other three guys make the music, they send the stuff to him, he puts lyrics to it, it goes back out. They are mainly responsible for the music. He's just a part of that. Puscifer is kind of his deal.
Okay.
Puscifer actually was born out of a skit on Mr. Show with Bob and David, Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, and David Cross.
Yeah, Maynard was
Scott Bakula.
Yeah, Maynard was on that show.
Okay.
In a skit where he was the leader of a band called Puscifer.
Okay.
They picked that name because he thought it was hilarious for this skit. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up making an actual band, Puscifer.
I'm very proud of you that not once have you called them the Flaming.
No, I'm working. I've been practicing this. So of the three, I would say, and then you've got Maynard's in Perfect Circle, but I Perfect Circle's okay, but Tool and Puscifer are my jams. So of the three, Maynard has the most control over Puscifer. So he is out front more, and he's doing more stuff. He's dressed as Agent Dick Merkin. And as Billy D, a dude with a what do you think call those things? Mullet and mustache, walking around with a mixed drink, talking about Jewish space lasers and the whole thing.
Okay.
It's a hilarious show. All through the show, in between the songs and stuff, and during the songs, there's aliens coming out, men in black, and they're scanning people in the audience. They're getting down we were third row.
Any anal probes?
Well, that was a theme of the show. They were chasing around somebody with a probe at one point.
Okay.
On stage.
Well, good.
Yeah, Maynard in all of his things, like Tool and Puscifer, I guess Perfect Circle, has a strict thing: don't take any pictures, no using your phones and stuff. Because it's annoying. Okay,
right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They let you do that stuff on the last show, but in the middle, he's very strict on it, and they will kick you out of the show. So they actually kicked someone out of the show. Somebody that they planted in the audience, and they sent the Men in Black down to pick him up, and he had a mullet. And
they probed him.
And they probed him, and he's walking off stage, and Maynard's walking, going, bye-bye.
I'm like, that's what you get.
Off. Yeah, basically.
He didn't have a ticket.
One of those things. Yeah. And in between the songs, there's like stuff that's acted. It's a cool show. The sound quality was, even if you don't like their music, was amazing.
Okay.
Now, that's the music part. That's the Puscifer part. Now let's talk about our experience.
Okay.
Yours truly had to get one of these posters. I do have they do the same thing. They have Puscifer posters.
Okay.
I haven't got a frame for it yet. I do have one upstairs.
For people who can't see, Mike is pointing to something on his wall.
Yeah.
This is an audio podcast.
Yeah.
I love this poster.
Yeah. So they have a poster that's
very
made
descriptive.
Specifically.
You're like James R.R. Tolkien if he was mute.
I am. They have a poster that's specific to Cincinnati, Ohio on that date. That art, you can only get it at that poster. It's a thing. So, of course, the whole merch line is full of all these people standing there. And mine and Bess's first thing is like, I ain't going to stand in that line. I don't care what the poster is. We sat in our seat for about 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'm going to go get a poster.
You should have hired a guy to stand in line for you.
If my concert concierge thing was available, I would have used that.
Yeah.
So I'm in line with a bunch of people wearing Tool shirts with their stank breath talking about what Maynard means by this song. And I'm like, you guys quit being Tool fans. This is annoying. I get my stuff. I get back right when the opening band has gotten through their first couple songs. Now, the opening band leaves, and there's usually about a half hour before the main band, Puscifer, comes on. I saw the things in the merch thing. They had bathrobes. They had a suitcase.
Did you buy a bathrobe?
No.
That sounds
but
just
they
like something
had
you would buy.
They had a leather jacket for $650 signed.
No.
So there's a dude in a cowboy hat,
Nope.
and I call him, we'll refer to him from now on as the Marlboro Man and the Marlboro Woman. They both have Puscifer leather jackets. Okay. And I'm looking, I was like, combined, that's $1,300 in leather jacket there. What the frick?
Oh, that's good math, Mike.
Sit down right next to Bess. Mm-hmm. And I can't help it. I'm sitting next to people that are wearing $1,300 worth of Puscifer leather jacket. But they look a little different than the one I saw up there. So I'm like, is that the leather jacket up there at the merch thing? The Marlboro Man looks at me and stares. An uncomfortable amount of time, like in seconds.
Yeah, like how dare you?
And my first thought is he didn't hear me, so I start to say again, and is that? And he goes, it is not that one. Okay.
Ooh.
But it is Puscifer. And Mike internally is like, well, that would explain the Puscifer logo on the front. But okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I got this at another show.
Unless he bought a leather jacket and just put Puscifer on it himself.
Which you could do.
As people are prone to do.
He said, hers is from this show. And I said, okay. And he just keeps staring at me. And I'm like, okay.
You can stop staring at me now.
I didn't. And then he turned, okay. All right. Okay. The conversation's over. The actual Puscifer show starts. And the people off to my right, I'll call them the insufferable Tool fans, are yelling, Maynard! Maynard!
Oh, God.
And behind us is some woman that keeps bumping into Bess with her belly. So the rest of the concert was this nice little dance of Marlboro Man occasionally looking over at us and looking behind at the belly dancer. Bess getting hit by the belly dancer, looking back with the please stop hitting me with your body thing.
Right. Was it the woman that Bess bumped into with her butt at Elton John?
No.
Because that would have been something.
That would have been something.
Yeah.
And then occasionally a Maynard from over on the right. So other than those things, it was an awesome show. Yeah.
Many years ago, I saw Van Halen at Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah. This was on not the 5152, the OU812 tour.
Yeah.
Okay. Our tickets aren't close to the stage. We're closer to the nosebleeds than we are to the stage. We're way up top. Okay. And a lady behind me keeps yelling, "Bad motor scooter!"
Oh, God. I can't hear you.
It was in between every song. They would do Hot Summer Nights, "Bad Motor Scooter."
Yeah.
Then they would do Black and Blue.
Yeah.
And she would yell, "Bad Motor Scooter."
Oh, my God.
It's like, Jesus, she would not. She must have yelled "Bad Motor Scooter" 20 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just not needed.
It's not necessary at all.
The tool jagoffs to the right behind us told the opening band that they sucked. Bess told me that this happened before I got there. And it's not like they're yelling, "You suck, you suck." And it's not like at a, like your Bad Motor Finger person or Bad Motor Scooter. We're third row. So about as close to the artist as you and I are right now. If I'm yelling, "You suck," it makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
it's like this woman, she could have been front row and yelled "Bad Motor Scooter," and Sammy's not going to play "Bad Motor Scooter."
Yeah. No.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Bone Suckin' Mustard. Bone Suckin' Mustard is delicious, especially on a Whoppers all-beef footlong hot dog. And nothing tastes better with a hot dog than an ice-cold bottle of Crank Cola. Last week I was stripping some wallpaper off of my oldest son's bedroom, and of course I was using Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. Well, my son came in and was like, "Hey Dad, can I have a bottle of Crank?" And I said, "Sure, son." It was one of those father-son moments that you just don't get every day. Oh, where was I? Oh, Bone Suckin' Mustard. It's not mustard unless it's Bone Suckin' Mustard. Now, back to the show.
Last week on the show,
yes.
Before we got started with our great guest, Adam Needham, I mentioned that the Lakota West Marching Band went to Indianapolis and kicked ass at the competition.
Yeah.
A few things happened while we were there. Worth mentioning.
Okay.
Some of the bands that performed, one of them was from Dobbins Bennett High School, which is in Kingsport, Tennessee, right next to Johnson City, Tennessee, where I'm from. Okay. And there were some people sitting in front of me, and they had said that Dobbins Bennett, who did very well, they actually advanced higher than our band did, but they were a great band. They had mentioned that a lot of the kids from Dobbins Bennett High School had never even left the state before. And I'm like, that's very cool.
Yeah,
so good for them.
Yeah.
Another band was from Pflugersville, Texas.
I
was telling Libby, I'm like, we 2 months ago mentioned Pflugersville, Texas, or Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville.
And there they were. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I had a debacle. Okay. I had a problem.
Okay.
I had bought
a conundrum.
Okay. And, remember when we went to St. Louis? For that competition.
Oh, St. Louis.
Yeah, and I was bitching about Allianz.
You went up in they got an arc.
They do. They have an arc in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I owe the people
parabola.
I owe the people at Allianz an apology.
Okay.
I was bitching because I bought insurance for tickets. Our band didn't advance to finals, and I was trying to cash in on my insurance for the tickets.
Yeah.
Because in my theory, the act that we wanted to see were no longer performing.
Yeah.
So, and then the woman who I was talking to on the phone, who could not have been nicer, kept asking me if I have the number on the email that Allianz sent us. And I didn't have that email. And I was bitching because I didn't have that email.
Yeah.
Turns out they had sent it to my wife's email account.
Oh.
So they did email us.
Okay.
So I apologize to Allianz.
Don't apologize.
I was bitching that they didn't send an email, and they had.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
I'm still pissed because it's still like if you want to cash in on insurance for tickets, you have to have not only like a death in the family.
Yeah, and you got to bring the body to them.
You have to bring a death certificate, photo of the casket, something to get out of to get your money back.
Video of you putting a mirror under their nose and showing that they're
exactly. It's extremely difficult to get money back on the insurance or concert tickets. That being said, while we were in Indianapolis, we made it to semifinals.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know why you can't buy tickets for like the whole event, but that's whatever. So we had the tickets for the preliminaries.
Wait, you can't buy? Okay,
No,
that's weird.
Not in Indianapolis. You had to buy your tickets for preliminaries, then you bought tickets for semifinals, and then you buy separate tickets for finals.
Horse shit. When you go to Monsters of Rock, you get to see White Zombie and all of them. Yeah. Okay.
So I had tickets for all three events.
Yeah.
We made it to prelims.
Okay.
We made it to semifinals. We did not advance to finals. Now I am trying to sell tickets to people waiting out in the freaking cold. And
you're out there scalping.
I miss the days of holding 2 tickets up in the air.
Yeah.
I have 2 tickets. Who wants them? And then all you got to do is give somebody the ticket. They give you the money.
Yeah.
Right? No,
Yeah.
we can't do this.
No.
So I've got these, and I'm trying so hard to sell tickets. And I paid like $50 a ticket for them. I was trying to unload them for $40. And so I was like, I've got 2 tickets for finals. Our band didn't advance. Would you like to buy them? And people are very skeptical about trying to buy something that I have on the phone. I don't have anything physical. And the guy's like, well, somebody was considering it. How much do you want from them? I said, $40 a piece. This woman walks right behind me. 2 tickets, $30 a piece. And he looks at me. I said, I can sell them to you for 30. He goes, Had someone else who was interested, kinda. And then I said, well, how am I gonna get them? I said, I can transfer them to. Do you have a Ticketmaster account? No. Okay. Well, how would I get you the money? I'm like, you could Venmo me. I don't have Venmo. Okay. So that person wasn't interested, and they're also very skeptical. I mean, now I look like a guy who can be trusted, sorta.
Yeah.
I finally found a guy, and I'm explaining to him, my kids, their band didn't advance. I'm just trying to not eat these tickets. And he says, well, how can we do it? And I explained it to him, whatever. He goes, yeah, okay. So he calls his wife, who's waiting in the truck and waiting for him to buy tickets.
Yeah.
And she says, okay. And she has a Ticketmaster account.
Okay.
And so we walk down to his truck, and we're working everything. She's trying to figure out how to Venmo Libby the money because she ain't got no cash. Nobody has cash.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure out how to do that. I'm trying to transfer the tickets to him. I can't, for the life of me, cannot, because it's like they make it. It's like I forgot to tell you, they changed my code that day. While I'm walking, I'm walking into the thing, into the Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah.
And I go to bring up my tickets, which I had seen that morning at the hotel. I checked to make sure my tickets are available.
Yeah.
Sometime between leaving the hotel and getting to Lucas Oil Stadium, the code changed, and I could not access the tickets.
Okay.
I'm there for 10 minutes in the snow trying to get whatever. Finally, they Venmo'd Libby the money, and I said, what if I just walk up with you? They could scan these, and then we'll leave.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Oh, wow.
I had to walk through security with these people, nice people, Robert and Julie.
Yeah.
They ended up being, I was like, we could hang out with them if we lived nearby.
Yeah.
Had to walk through. They scanned my phone. You kids have fun. And then I turned around. I'm trying to walk out of security, and the guy's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm leaving. But it's impossible. Just like, God, and I know you call me boomer, but I miss tickets, actual tickets.
Yeah, the only thing is, and I know I've told this story on here before, but it's been, I don't know how many episodes ago. Bess and I went to go see the Elevation tour in Philadelphia.
Yep.
And at the time, my good friend Kevin, who we saw Metallica with, him and his then girlfriend, now wife, were living in Philadelphia. He was going to school there. And we were going to stay with them. And they just decided, hey, we'll see. They were going to drive us to the concert. And they're like, well, let's see if we can get some scalp tickets, and we'll go see the show too. We go, and on the street, he bought and I remember $250. I think it was 2 tickets for $250, like 125, 125.
That's not horrible, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So he bought them, paid cash for them. We get to the thing, they're fakes.
Ugh.
So
Yeah.
what we did was we had actual paper tickets. We went through, they ripped off the stub and then gave us the tickets. We went to one of the bouncers, and I think the statute of limitations is over now. This was like 20 years ago. He let Kevin and Jessica come in. Kevin gave him like $20 or $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
They took our ticket, the stubs that were ripped off. We had our real tickets.
Yeah.
And we just went and we had aisle seats. We just kind of doubled up on the seats.
Yeah.
And they got to see the show.
Yeah.
So they still spent, I mean, some would say they got in for free, but not really. They spent like $300 getting in, $50 for the guy, and then $250 for the tickets.
Yeah.
But,
I got a friend who bought concert
Paper
tickets.
tickets.
I can't remember who the band was, but
Yeah.
he bought them not off of Ticketmaster, but like off of StubHub
Yeah.
or something, which
Yeah.
most people consider a reliable place to buy tickets.
Yeah.
The venue wouldn't accept them.
Yeah.
They would not accept the tickets.
Yeah.
And
You gotta be
he
careful.
couldn't get a refund.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
We
I'm
bought
yeah.
in 2015, and I'll quit talking about tickets. I got so many damn ticket stories.
Yeah.
We bought tickets to, again, U2, imagine that, the Innocence Tour, and they flipped the stage designs. And this, I probably could have sued and gotten money for this one. We got tickets that were right in front of the stage, and then they flipped the design. So we went from being in front of the stage
Behind the
there
stage.
to behind the stage. And
Yeah.
I bought tickets on the other side, and
Yeah.
we had, and like it was still questionable even up until the time we were walking in which ones were the actual front.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
I'm still paying that one off.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Whoppers All Beef Footlong Hot Dogs. Hey there, it's Dave, and it's never too early to get started on your holiday shopping. And there's no better gift than Whoppers All Beef Hot Dogs. That's right. Give that special someone in your life the gift of all beef footlong hot dogs. So what are you waiting for? Pre-order a package or two wherever quality meat products are sold. What? Your local grocery doesn't sell Whoppers? No problem. Whoppers delivers. Just go online and place your order today. Merry Christmas from all of us at Irritable Dad Syndrome and the fine folks at Whoppers All Beef Footlong Hot Dogs.
While we were in Indianapolis,
Yes.
and I teased this story earlier,
Okay.
I farted. Now, I don't fart in front of my wife.
Why?
I just don't.
If I'm in another room in the
never
house,
have. Matter of fact, while
I'll
we were-
drive home to fart in front of her and then go back to work.
I just don't. I never have.
Yeah.
And for the longest time when we were dating, like I wouldn't do any of that stuff.
Well, let me ask you
I would
this.
wait till she left before I did that or other
when
related material.
When you're dating, but after you're married,
After you're married, it's
Yeah.
I know, I understand that.
get a fan and fart in it and make him.
So
But was that was it wasn't because she would attack you, or it was
No,
you shown respect.
I'm just showing respect. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. So we're driving through Indianapolis, and I've got one brewing. I mean, this is a doozy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. This one, I'm almost like I think I'm having a contraction. It was bad.
Yeah.
And we're trying to find an Arnie's pizza place. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Arnie's is in my grandparents lived in Lafayette.
Yeah.
Whenever we would go, we'd get an Arnie's pizza. That's also in Indianapolis and other places in Indiana. So we're driving, trying to find this Arnie's pizza. And I've
Okay.
got one brewing so hard. We get in there and we park. I'm like, okay, great. And I get out of the car and I'm standing outside of the car and it sounded like you're doing a B flat scale on a tuba. Okay.
Sound like Jaws there.
Yeah,
for a
it
second.
was just it went for like a while, for an uncomfortably long time. And Libby's like texting some other people who are coming up to the competition, and she stops. She's like, "Are you farting?" I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah.
And it was like I was embarrassed. I'm like, yep. And then you just own it because what do
Yeah,
you do?
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna
And
do?
are you okay? I'm fine. I don't have a fever. I don't need
Yeah.
to sit down.
So
And then she's like, we're walking into the place. Do you need to stay out here a little bit longer, or you got any more? I'm like, no, I think I'm good. But I mean, it's like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Because, man, I could have let that go in the car and roll down all 4 windows.
Oh my God. Okay, so you reminded me. You've heard of TikTok challenges,
Yes.
right? So there was one briefly for dads,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a bunch of dads you would see doing this, and I laughed until I cried. They would go to their son's room, like if their son was in there like playing video games or reading or whatever. They'd stand in the doorway until their kid looked at them. They would knock whatever was in their hands out, fart, turn off the light, and leave.
Nice.
And they had a camera set up to catch the whole thing, and it was just it warmed the heart.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's also, while we were in Indianapolis, we stayed at a Best Western hotel.
They are the best.
Yeah.
On the Western side of things.
I posted something about this on my Facebook page, and it caused a little bit of a stir.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you offend?
I'm always offending somebody.
Yeah.
At the Best Western, in the mornings when they have their continental breakfast.
Yeah.
Best Western has a waffle maker. Okay. And it's
Yeah.
not just any waffle maker. Okay. It has the Best Western logo.
Oh. Like the little crown thing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like a perfect circle in the middle of the waffle, which holds all the syrup.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So usually you pour the syrup over
the grid.
over all the grids, but you can just make a little pool of syrup.
Oh.
Anyway, I made a waffle,
Okay.
and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God. And I mentioned on Facebook that this waffle was better than any waffle I've ever had at Waffle House.
Okay.
Excuse me. You in the background you hear.
Yeah.
Say that again, mother. It was. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Best Western Hotel makes the best waffles. So what I'm telling you right now is if you're traveling,
Yeah.
or if there's a Best Western
Just down the street
down
from
the
your-
street from
yeah.
you, walk in someday. I don't think they're gonna know. There's a comedian who used to do this on the Bob and Tom show about how he would take like a date out for
continental
breakfast,
breakfast.
and they would just go to a hotel and have continental breakfast there. It's like, who's going to check to see, hey, wait a minute, you're not in room 117.
Yeah.
Nobody checks.
No. Yeah.
But, go into a Best Western and just make yourself a waffle. And, oh, my God, they're delicious. They're yummy. I'm sorry. They're very tasty. It was appetizing to my palate.
It was delectable.
It was delectable.
Was it delightful?
It was delightful. It was
Okay.
very delicious. It was good. Yes. Yeah.
So I had a little bit of a medical issue.
What's that, Mike? Was it your brain?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. So
By the way,
Yeah.
I mentioned the lost remote. Steve Farrell had a great comment. That remote control is now in a brand new basket. If we had kept the remote in the basket,
yeah.
it wouldn't have gotten lost. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I haven't been to a primary care physician in years. Part of the reason is because I had a bit of a issue with my previous one, who is now my current one. I don't want to get into it because
This guy also used to be my doctor.
he clearly doesn't remember me, and he's a whole different guy now than when he used to be. So me and Bess were talking about it. She's like, well, I think they're all electronic records now. Maybe you were all paper records. I don't know what it is, but I'm going with it because he was really nice.
Well, from
the
what I
last time
remember,
went.
this doctor always talked very loud. How you doing, Darin?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not deaf. And he would come in and he would sit on the floor.
Yeah, I
I
knew-
couldn't get over. I was like, why are you sitting on the floor?
I was cracking up. If you know what to expect when you go in, it's a hilarious office visit.
Right.
I knew the affliction and remedy of everyone around me because of how loud he is. Oh, so you got the well, we're just going to have to pat that with a
Right.
and give you a prescription for
Looks like
I
you
knew-
need some amoxicillin.
Yeah, clear that right up.
Yep.
So I had a little puffy spot near my belly button.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I
Okay.
thought it's because I'm putting on some pounds. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, that's just a new place where fat is. Turns out I was half right. So we go through the whole thing, and there's signs all over the office.
Thought it was just a new place
Yeah.
where fat was.
Yeah. There's signs all over the office. Like, if you're here for a yearly checkup
Uh-huh.
and you have an issue, you have to schedule another appointment for your issue. You can't do it both of them at the same time. So now I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So he's like, is there anything else going on? I'm like, I got a puffy spot in my thing. And I'm in the
I've
middle.
got a puffy spot in my thing.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm in the middle of, the reason I stopped there is because I'm halfway through that sentence. And he's like, "Where is it?" I was like, "It's in my belly button." He's like, "Look, my belly button was exposed for maybe 1 millisecond."
Okay.
He just kind of glances. Yeah, you got a umbilical hernia.
Oh.
Yeah, here's what you're gonna do. And it goes through all this stuff, and I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he just starts poking it. Can you feel that? Can you feel it? And I was like, "Well, I can feel it now because you're poking, but it doesn't." He's like, "Doesn't hurt?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Really? That doesn't hurt?"
Yeah.
And he starts poking it harder, and I'm like, "It still doesn't hurt. It's getting uncomfortable now, you know, because you seem to be trying to make it hurt."
Yeah.
Anyway, to make a very long
Does
story,
it hurt now? Get your foot off my stomach.
So anyway, he sets me up with, for lack of a better word, hernia doctor.
Yeah.
And the guy looks at me, go in there, and he's like, "Hey, you got this. We're going to set up surgery for blah, blah, blah." It's all like I'm going to get an oil change.
Yeah.
It's just like, "Yeah, you're going to have major surgery, and we're going to do it at this time." So I'm going to have surgery around Christmas.
Okay.
Planned.
Yeah.
You know. And they're going to cut me open, sew up that piece, and the little bulge happened to be fat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, a lot of people don't realize that fat can come through those things, but he pointed at it. He's like, "That's fat."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's what I thought it was. I just didn't know it was coming from a different place."
Well, since you and I were always having a competition.
With surgeries. And
I've had 3
Oh.
hernia repairs. So you're going to have one, and then you get 2 more, and then you tie me.
Okay.
Okay. But everything I know about hernias I learned from Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay.
There's incomplete, apongastric, bladder, strangulated, lumbar hernia, Richter's hernia,
Richter's hernia. That's
obstructed,
yeah.
inguinal,
Oh.
and direct.
Oh.
Living with a hernia. Thank you. Yeah.
So it's yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Uh-huh.
Immediately after surgery,
Yeah.
and get quack ready, it's gonna hurt like a mother.
Said for 5 days
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
on my butt, and then after that I'll be moving around.
Yeah, I had mine.
He said I will not have to use mesh as long as it doesn't get any bigger between that visit and the end of the month.
My first hernia repair was a double hernia. I had one on both sides. I had the whole
Yeah,
set.
you had him in stereo.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Hernia in stereo.
Yeah.
And they said, "Yeah, we're going to just do them both at the same time."
Okay.
Which I was like, okay, because
Yeah.
I didn't want to do one, ouch, and 3 months later come in and do the other one.
Yeah.
And so they did the surgery, and I wake up, I'm in the, recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Darin, what we're going to do is we're going to sit you up, and on a scale of 1 to 10, just tell us how much it hurts, okay? We're going to sit you up right now." "Oh, Jesus, God!" "Okay, that's like 11. And she goes, tick, 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 and Daddy fell asleep.
Yeah.
2 hours later, 3 hours later, I woke up or whatever, and oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad. So, and then a few years later, it turns out the one on my right side was not done correctly, and they had to do that again. So,
Yeah. I got a kick out of the hernia doctor because he's going through all this stuff, and he stops. And he's like, What do you do?" I'm like, "What,
what do you mean? What do I do?
in general, or what?"
It's just like,
I was like, I'm an engineer. And he's like, "Oh, good, you'll understand this." I'm like, I got a little bit annoyed because it reminded me of like whenever you go to somebody's house and they're like, "Well, you're an engineer, fix the VCR."
Yeah.
I'm not a VCR engineer. I'm not, I can tell you what temperature it melts at, but that's not.
that's my favorite joke of yours. I can tell you what temperature it melts.
He says yours is about 1 centimeter, and I wanted to say, really? You think you have to be an engineer to know what a centimeter is? And he says,
1/100th of
and he's
a
like,
meter.
"Yeah, we could use a mesh.
I know that.
We could use a mesh. You know what a mesh is." I'm like, "What do you think everyone walking around without an engineering or a doctorate degree is just like, what are you gonna do to me?" It's I don't know.
My hernia doctor told me I'd have to get stabbed for something to break the mesh.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Well, let's test that out.
Yeah, no, you don't want.
What's the mesh made of? It's like a poly, like
urethane.
like fishing line.
Yeah,
thing?
it's made out of what's that stuff out of Wakanda?
Flubber.
What's that? The Captain or Black Panther's shield is made out of Black Panther doesn't-
Wakandanite.
Yeah, Wakandanite. What's the word I'm thinking of?
A vibranium.
Vibranium.
You got a vibranium
Yeah,
mesh?
you got a vibranium hernia repair. Yeah. God.
Oh, dude, I bet.
Daddy can't make coherent sentences.
I bet-
Time to wrap up this week's podcast.
2 things.
Yeah.
I bet old Captain America in the what is that? Endgame?
Yeah.
He's got some vibranium hernia meshes.
I think he
Did
does.
you know that Stan Lee was supposed to be old Captain America? That was the original plan.
No,
but he
I didn't know
died.
that.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
supposed to. They weren't gonna. It was gonna be Stan Lee. It wasn't gonna be Chris Evans in old makeup.
Why would they do that? That would have just taken the. That would have just made it comical.
Everyone, yeah, maybe. Maybe.
What's going on here, you kids? God.
Doubt he would be in full Stan Lee mode, you know.
But then you'd be like, he wasn't acting like Stan Lee at all.
They might have made him shave the mustache or something.
Speaking of Marvel, did you see Black Panther?
No, have you
Wakanda
seen
Forever?
it?
Yeah,
Is it good?
yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't get that. Nobody seems to care about Marvel movies anymore in this house.
huh? Crazy.
It ended with Eternals. Was that
Yeah.
the one? Oh, Shang-Chi and the 10.
I could see how we would end with this.
One of
Eternals,
those.
but not with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was
or
fun.
Black Widow was the last one we saw.
that
Whatever,
was-
I don't know what order
Yeah.
those came in.
Yeah.
But we have
Morbius?
Morphine or whatever the hell, the werewolf
Yeah.
movie. We
yeah.
haven't watched it.
Okay, listen.
And Doctor Strange and the 10 kids.
I'm gonna horn in on this. I heard a lot of people bitching about Morbius.
Yeah, it
And
looks good.
It's on the Netflix.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember who was complaining, but it was from reliable sources.
Okay.
People who I respect their opinion.
Yeah.
We watched Morbius. The whole family thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Yeah.
So I don't get what the big woo
I
is
don't
about.
really trust other people's opinions on Marvel movies. I trust your opinion because I think you and I look at them.
No, you
at the
don't.
same. Yeah, I do. On Marvel movies, I do.
Okay, okay.
Marvel movies.
Okay.
Other movies like John Wick, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
Any other movie other than Marvel? Okay, here's the deal.
The last Quentin Tarantino movie you absolutely loved, and I hated it.
I love them.
Yeah.
By the way, this is going long, but we need to talk
That's
about
what
it.
she said.
Bess and I had a night where Charlie went to a sleepover. And we're like, hey, Andrew's 15.
Yeah.
This is we can watch a movie that Charlie can't watch. Like we can, let him watch The Exorcist or something.
Okay. Yeah.
We're like,
yeah.
I mean, like Shawshank Redemption is like, something like
Gotcha.
that. Like
I'll
we
never
can watch
forget
something-
when we watched The Fugitive.
Yeah.
With Jacob.
Yeah. So he didn't want to. He wanted to do something else. So then me and Bess were like, "Well, okay, we'll watch something."
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to watch Smile, the new horror movie. I've heard that's amazing.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah.
You're reading my mind.
And I saw a clip of it. I'm like, I want to see that. But
Get out of my head.
she's like, I don't want to watch a horror movie. But we had watched a trailer for another one called Barbarian
Uh-huh.
that she got interested in. And
Yeah.
we're like, well, let's watch that one. I was like, it's a horror movie. She's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And we watched the trailer again. It's like, let's watch it. Have you heard of Barbarian?
I have.
Have you seen it?
No, I have not. It's on the HBO Plus, and I don't have HBO
Okay,
Plus.
so here's the deal. Here's the gist of it.
Okay.
Some lady goes to an Airbnb
Uh-huh.
and somebody's already there.
Oh, creepy.
And then there's
Is,
like an
is there a waffle maker? Okay.
and then there's an underground passage and then
Mm.
a creepy like gotcha where a dude's crawling out of the dark at you. And I was like, I'm sold.
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
watch that movie.
Can I watch it now? Yeah.
So it is one of the weirdest movies. We had a hoot.
Yeah.
So Bess, the whole time, Bess is talking to the people. You know, it's a good horror movie when she's talking to, oh my God, you idiot.
Yeah. Don't close the refrigerator door. He's gonna be standing there.
So I enjoy the newer horror movies because the character, ever since Scream,
Yeah.
characters tend to act normal like you would. Like, I ain't going in there. The hell with that. Piss on that.
yeah.
This kind of harkens back to the old, oh, there's a dark passage. I'm going to see what's in that dark passage because
Idiot.
I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. So after a while, it turned like
Yeah.
they start to get some sense. But
Yeah.
for the first half hour, Bess is like, "Oh my God, okay, all right." There's weird laughing coming from the dark corner. Let's go over there. But I don't want to spoil anything. It's not one to watch with the kids. Not even Jacob. If you try to watch it, even with an older kid, you're
Right.
going to get. It's
Daddy,
going to get uncomfortable.
Can I sleep in your room tonight?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be without getting too graphic.
Mm-hmm.
The main baddie thing has got some appendages that'll be like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this with the kid in the room.
Okay. Appendages, you say?
Some
Yeah.
knockers.
Those aren't appendages.
So he has some big swingers,
So Leslie Hull,
Yeah.
who is a patron of
Okay.
our podcast, she's a fan of yours, fan of mine.
Yeah.
Went to high school with her.
Yeah.
I get this text from her. She started texting me randomly, and I've told her to stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, she texts me, says, have you seen Smile? because we had mentioned
Yeah.
on this show a horror movie, and I can't remember what horror movie it was. But we mentioned
Saw?
something. I think it was Saw. Yeah. Mentioned.
Spiral or whatever the
Yeah.
hell it is.
So she, out of nowhere, tells me, hey, Smile is really good.
I've heard that.
And
It's
I
really
haven't
good.
seen it.
Yeah.
So I watched it. And I'm not into horror movies, okay? I mean, I'll watch them.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's not my thing. And I'm just like, oh, God, I can't wait to see the next one or whatever.
Mm.
I'm telling you right now, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah?
It is so well written.
I saw
extremely well performed.
I've heard it's like
The
It Follows.
cinematography is it's like you don't know where it's going, you don't know what's going on. Is this what I think it is, or is this something different?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So Leslie, thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up watching that.
Yeah.
I saw one clip of
Do you
like a
have
lady walks up to a
Do
car.
you have Paramount?
Oh yeah, is it on Paramount?
It's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, we have that.
See, and that I'm telling you right now, don't watch the trailer because so many of the
I haven't seen the
jump
trailer.
scenes, they ruined. They put in the trailer.
I saw one jump scene on TikTok. Some like the lady walks up to the car and then her
Yes.
head comes down.
Yes.
You know, but
Yes.
that was
I know. And then there's another scene where a person
I don't want to
does something
Yeah.
that you don't want to know that they do.
So
and then,
there's one I've heard it compared to It Follows. Have you seen It Follows? That's a
No.
pretty good one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one. But
Yeah.
it's got some jump things. They're like, oh my God. It had one where I yelled out, Jesus. I was down here. It was like 1 a.m. and I almost jumped over the back of the couch.
Yeah.
And it's if you're on TikTok or whatever, people grab this snippet and they put it all over the place. So you may have already seen it.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for you if you did, but you'll know it if you watch the movie. When you see it, you'll probably do what I did. Oh my! Don't hold a drink while you're watching that.
Well, I told you when I saw, there was something that happened. And I stood up and pointed at the screen and yelled, "No way!" I'm watching it by myself. So yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this thing up,
guys. Thanks for staying with us this episode.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. This has been a fun one. I had a good time. I think Mike had a good time. I hope
did.
you had a good
Yep.
time.
Yep.
And we want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. And I know we tell you this every week. And why do we tell you this every week? Because you don't do it. Go to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com.
Look,
and listen to previous episodes.
Share this podcast with people. Share it on the Facebook.
Spread the love.
Share it on if you got an Apple podcast.
Yeah.
If you share it on Apple, we jump up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we become obnoxiously popular. All you mother scratchers have got to do.
Yeah.
You're on Apple right now.
It's
I
not
know
hard.
most of you are because
Yeah.
I see the numbers.
Right.
Just go to share.
Mike is watching
and
you.
send it to Buford T. Justice or whoever the hell you've got in your contact list.
Yeah.
Say, listen to these two knucklewads talk about Smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, in all seriousness, if you enjoy the podcast, thank you. But tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
And also, Christmas is coming up, and you can buy stuff at our website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Send us money on Patreon.
Yeah.
All right. This is Darin.
Mike.
And we will talk to you next time on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Thank you.
Well, we've come to that time again when we have to say goodbye. But don't worry, we'll be back again soon. Remember, you can always listen to previous episodes on our website, irritabledadsyndrome.com. Thanks for listening. Except for you, Chris Hughes.
Checkity check.
Check.
1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Get your woman on the floor.
Let's pause and then you do it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Get your woman on the floor. Got to get up to get down.
All right. We're on. Say
Hey.
something.
Hey, everybody.
No, we actually were leveled.
Yeah?
Holy shit.
Damn. Time we'll get into it. There's lots of stuff here that we... You ready to start?
Yeah, let's roll.
Okay. Hello, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 118.
We are excited. We had a life and death experience here at the house with Boo Ba over the weekend.
Yeah. And I royally just screwed this up.
Did you just do what I do?
Totally just... I'll try it again.
Okay.
If you don't live in the Cincinnati area...
It's old Jody and Jocelyn's Mitchell's kid.
No, I think you've got her confused with another.
Yeah, you can edit all this out. The point is,
You're editing this episode.
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I'm going to go into Puscifer.
Go ahead.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay. I got some snifflies going on here.
Uh-oh. Darth has been behind you this whole time.
So, okay.
Okay.
The